The world's 7 billion people all mysteriously died at the exact same time. Only a diver hiding underwater miraculously survived, but as soon as he removed his regulator, he felt his throat was being squeezed, as if he might suffocate and die at any moment. Realizing something was amiss, he quickly put his regulator back in, and only then did he return to normal. Initially, he thought he'd been in the water too long, his body not yet adjusted, so he took off his respirator and tried again. But this time he clearly felt he truly couldn't breathe, as if all the air's oxygen had been instantly drained. Not until he saw animal corpses scattered on the streets, and a woman dead from lack of oxygen in her car, did the man realize the apocalypse had arrived. But in this oxygen-deprived environment, how could he survive? To find out if there were survivors, the man, with his last half bottle of oxygen, approached a silent, thatched hut. But as he nervously pushed open the door, he saw another human, also surviving with an oxygen tank. The man excitedly raised his hands, showing he meant no harm. But with the oxygen gone, they couldn't speak, only communicate through sign language. The man then gestured for the woman to follow him. The woman looked at her recently deceased, now cold mother in her arms. Though heartbroken and reluctant, she was helpless, and ultimately had no choice but to follow the man to find a way to survive. Before leaving, they loaded their oxygen tanks onto a small cart. But if you look at the man's eyes, he kept glancing at the woman's oxygen tank, then checked his own supply. He silently prayed in his heart, hoping the worst wouldn't happen. But the streets at this moment were simply horrific. Everywhere the eye could see, human corpses lay on the ground. They went to a nearby supermarket to find supplies, but besides the dead staff, they didn't even find a single oxygen bottle. Staring at the phone before her, the woman, full of hope, called for help, but no matter how many times she tried, no one ever answered. With no other option, they reluctantly got back on the road. Reaching the highest point of the hill, the woman activated her alarm, and the man lit their last remaining smoke bomb, hoping other survivors might spot them. But as the sun finally set, no one came to their rescue. Looking at the few remaining oxygen tanks, the two exchanged glances, both preparing to face their impending death. Just then, a brilliant firework suddenly burst in the distant sky. They looked at each other, their hearts filled with inexpressible excitement. Following the fireworks' direction, they drove to a suburban villa, but as soon as they stepped inside, their hope was shattered. The villa was filled with dead bodies, the fireworks that just went off. They had timed them before their deaths. The woman, in despair, took off her coat and embraced the man. At this moment, their fate was already sealed. Soon, the man's oxygen tank alarmed. He quickly swapped to his last one, and without hesitation, put it on his back. But the woman's oxygen was also running out. Terrified, she gestured to the man, asking what to do. However, when faced with actual death, the man simply shrugged, indicating his helplessness. Survival instinct drove the woman to fight for it. Their fragile alliance quickly fell apart. Both fought hard to survive a bit longer. In the struggle, the deer antlers on the wall fell, and the man, caught off guard, hit them and dropped dead. Until this very moment, the woman suddenly became clear-headed. Since the outcome of death could not be altered, she decided to cease her struggle. She then removed the man's goggles and her own oxygen mask, slowly drawing closer to him, and together they descended to the underworld.